What's up, I'm Aidan. I am your DIY self-builder. Today is the 11th of September. We're going to crack out some dwarf walls and a stud wall. Dan's on crew. And today's episode is brought to you by Squarespace. No, Benchmarks. Oh, do you reckon they'll still pay me? Cut their dwarf walls a long time ago, but we didn't put them in. We thought we was going to put them in before the installation of the plasterboard, and then I changed my mind. So we whacked them in last night. I'll show you a quick time lapse now. Basically, we built it as a ladder and then we squeezed it in first. This is not a structural one. There are a few different ways to do it, but this is what I've done. So we cut a 45 off the back. Well, I cut that as well as my thumb. I'll show you down here. There you go, like that. This is non-structural. We've done a structural one on a loft conversion before, and I've got a custom Arris rail cut for the top. But it was a big faff and it was very expensive. Yeah, so screwed down to the floor, got it as straight as possible, screwed to the rafters, it's all sorted. And now we're just about to lay out a stud for the shower room. This is where the shower's going. We're putting a door in here, mathematics. And then, yeah, so we need a 760 wide. That's obviously to the header. Everything's all sorted. This is squared, so we've got wiggle room for the tray. We didn't have the timber, so we just ripped that down. Dad's going to chop this. We're not bringing up the chop saw because it's just too big for up here, so he's going to do it with his skill saw and the roofing square. I'll give him the measurements. We're going to try and get it obviously as plumb as possible. We've got a laser, we've lost our plumb line, so we'll have to see what happens. We'll screw it all up and then we'll fill it in with the stud work. Dan's gone home. We got most of it framed out. When we frame this quickly, we've got about king stud, jack stud. So we've moved this one in slightly. That is the jack stud, that is the king stud. Just notch out this one here, just so I can get the header just so it's got a little bit of, like, I don't know, support, I suppose. So I need to get them nails out. Then I'll put another king stud in here just to brace it a bit. And this is supposed to be for storage behind the shower, but I want to put an oven here, which is a 600 unit and a 400 drawer unit. So I just need to move this across here. Floor plates screwed to the floor with screws that don't go all the way through to the other side. And then this ceiling plate is lined up with one of the rafters, and the reason why I've done it there, it just worked out nice, so I could have a 1300 shower tray and then it finished there. So otherwise, if you're not finishing this kind of thing on a rafter, you're going to need to put little noggins across there to get into it, and then you've got to remember where they are. Still got the stud work behind the toilet and behind the shower there. So I'll probably see I don't know, next week at some point. I've done a bit more. Just a little update, it's a few days later. How much do you reckon I've done? Loads, but not much. There we go. That's all sorted. I'm all studied out. I'll just give you a quick rundown. There you go, this is nice, isn't it? So this goes straight off there, off the reveal. That's all studied out. I've only done 300 centres on this because I've used thinner wood. I just had to use the wood that I could get. This is the offcuts of the bits that we used on this bit. That's blocked out to take the back of the toilet, so I can screw straight into that. Over here, I decided to make the shower bigger. So instead of an 800 deep shower, I've got 900. And I've blocked out here, so this is where these boards meet. I haven't got anything on this board, this wall, but I've put it on here. It should be all good, and obviously I've got it all blocked out. So I've put in extra bits like this for the wiring. So I stuck to all the safe zones for the wiring, even though they are 50mm back. I've got one spare just for the hob. So you can have one spare per socket, and then the oven is running 6mm cable. We didn't really need to, but that's on there. And then, so I've got a ring for the sockets. For the water heater, we put in a radial 2.5mm, 20mm. So that will go there. That's the situation. And obviously these bits are studied out just so I can get some clips in. This is going to be open, so I can access the toilet, and then behind here is going to be open as well because the kitchen's going to go in this bit here. And then I'll show you how I've done. That's how I had to do the header on the door. But that works, doesn't it? Sweet. These concrete boards, you're supposed to put a 3 to 5mm gap in between. So I'll have to tape and put thin set over that later, or adhesive. I'd still use the washers just in case, and then I use stainless steel screws on this. They do have specific ones for it. The stainless steel ones I probably would say you shouldn't really use. They're a little bit brittle. I've broke a couple. Don't use your impact driver on it, just use a normal drill driver. So I'm going to put the rest of this on. Dan's here today, so he's helping me plasterboard. He's already whacked that on.
The Dwarf.
Why does it? Oh, that's the ladder. It looked like the Dwarf wall was still exposed.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I thought you'd done that.
Done it all.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to plasterboard the ladder.
Okay, the stud wall's done. This door liner, it gave us a little bit of aggro. It wasn't particularly straight, so we've done our best to obviously pull it out. We framed this without getting the door liner before, so we had to line it a little bit and pack it out with a bit of plier just in case, but it works out all right. There is a bit of an issue with it in the sense that I got a 115 wide door liner, and it's not even 115, it was 105, 10 mil less than it's labelled as. Why do they do that? I don't know. Why say, right, I'm going to sell you a 100 mil bit of wood and it's actually 10 mil smaller than that? Why can't they just say what it is? So the fix to that ended up being, I used the door stops just to pack it out. So that's what I've done. I cut this wood at like 89, 90 mil, the actual stud work, so I could get the plasterboard on and then get a 115 liner, and it would have come like nice and finished nice. But because it was 10 mil shorter, obviously I've had to pack it out. So basically, if you leave it proud by like 2 or 3 mil off your plasterboard, when your plasterer comes up, they can just square straight into it, and it's just nicer when you put the architrave on. You've got something nice to sit it on. So that's the way that I like doing it. So I've just I've done this before where I've had to pack it out. They just don't seem to do the right width door liners for anything really. You always need to adjust them. In the shower I've made bigger. So I've done a 900 deep one, and then it's 1.3 that way. I just think it'll be nicer because this is going to be what we're going to be using for a good bar. And yeah, and I've ordered the tray and the screen, and I've made an executive decision. I overread what Lou wanted basically, but I'll show you that another day. We've done this like this. Dan said, can I do it like this? Ideally I would have had this one piece all going up, but he knows that I like to do the reveals. I'm a bit picky about that, so as long as I've got that corner bit, I reckon I'll be all right. So I've still got to do that. Everything's done. My plasterer, he said that he could do, what day is it today? It's almost, in about a week's time, he said that you can do the shower room quickly for me, and that way I can just fit that out, so it'd be fine, and then I'll have to wait for him to do the rest of this. He's still got to give me a price, but I assume he's not going to knock me. Are you, Adam? I think he's watching these now as well. So yeah, still need to put the board in on that side, but I need to run a pipe behind that, so that's going to be my next video. It'll just be a quick one. I need to do a little bit of copper work as well, and so I'm going to run the poly pipe through there. Well, and then I've still got to do these reveals. Tony's going to be here tomorrow. He's going to sort out the rest of the electrics. I've done most of it anyway. Obviously you see everything, but I'm going to leave him to cut out the boxes. He likes doing little bits like that. The shower needs a double pole isolator switch. I'm going to put it in that cupboard instead of outside. I believe that you don't need one under the regulations because you can switch it off at the main fuse board, but having a double pole one, Tony said it breaks the neutral as well as the live. And downstairs, yeah, I mean that doesn't really matter. We've put the door frame in here, but that's another video for another day. Yeah, that's the situation. Anyway, if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.